The little fylion. Yeah, if someone counts a fylion, I apologize. And we are off, by the way. Like I always said before, this is standard, so we will be doing the normal escape sequence, and we just get a bomb upgrade in the first chest. Boo. So we'll be going through the escape. It might be a little boring, but depending on what the weapon we have, again, like we said before, if we get bombs, that definitely puts a little bit of a nice wrinkle in the thing.
Yeah, if you want to go fast, I think Fire Rod is still the fastest. I'd like to see a vanilla sword. We hardly ever see that anymore.
You're absolutely right. It doesn't happen. The first seed I ever played Randomizer Sword was a sword there. I also like getting the bow.
And we get the hammer. That's a big one because that is pretty much 33% of the way to Dark World access right there.
Absolutely, and it also does tempered sword damage. Has a small hitbox, so it can be a bit of a pain to use if you're not good to it, which both these runners will be fine.
Yeah, you'll see them trying to kill some guards, trying to kill some rats and snakes along the way, hoping to get a bomb drop at some point. There are 3 chests in the back of Escape that will be only accessible using a bomb. If they do not get one now, they need to either go back through Escape again or wait until they get the Power Glove to go through the cemetery. I have seen a lot of progression in those 3 chests, and I've seen multiple racers lose a large amount of time. And we just got the mirror in that first chest.
You don't see mirror too often Escape. That will make things a little bit easier to track through here, because you don't have to walk back with Zelda. You can just mirror back.
Yeah, that's super handy to have. Big time saver, especially early game.
Just for the record, if you are new to the randomizer, you're not entirely sure what's going on, both runners have the same seeds, so it's not like we're playing 2 different seeds.
Yeah, that would be completely unfair in a race.
Absolutely, but kind of interesting.
And we get the red cane. Cane of Samaria is out there. That doesn't really open anything up at this point in the game, but that is required for a couple dungeons later on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a bad thing to have either as a secondary weapon. I mean, they have hammer at this point, but that's never a bad thing to have, is to get the cane of Samaria.
And in sync with each other, both mirroring right back out to the beginning. These 2 racers are pretty much 1-1 together right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like fylion might be trying to get some farm for a bomb drop. He has not gotten one yet. Smbai did get one earlier, so that's going to be huge.
Yeah, you can see fylion just like pause there just a second to see if that blue guard had a bomb or not.
If you've never played Standard before, don't worry. This flight cone is only available here in the escape sequence. Any other dark rooms from here on out without the lamp is, well, dark.
Both of these racers are good enough that they don't necessarily need a lamp. There are some rooms that it is incredibly handy in. There are some rooms where it's almost, you don't need it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Eastern's one of those dungeons where it's not too bad. Misery Mire, you'd like to have it.
They do not want to do Agate Tower without a lamp.
Oh yeah, if that's necessary, that maze is a pain in the butt. And fylion gets his bomb drop there, so that would be big for him.
Now we'll see what's in these 3 chests over here. If it's anything like the other races, there'll be some sort of progression here. And nothing.
All that bomb harvesting for not a whole lot. Yes, we got Hammer, Cane, the Samaria, and Mirror already in Escape. So it's been a solid Escape. But so those are definitely handy items to have.
If you want to know how quick that mirror made this and how much easier it made it for these runners, a good escape time is considered around 6 minutes. These guys got it out in 5.5.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, and that includes the farming for bombs there too. So that which cost a little bit of time. Simbai here, taking the usual route that you see a lot in Standard, going up to Lost Woods. Might check Lumberjack Cave. Some people skip it, some people check it.
Yeah, Lumberjack Cave is one of the few places in the game that's required to kill Aghanim to be able to access. The other being the portal at Hyrule Castle. The Lumberjack tree does not turn into an entrance unless Aghanim is dead.
Absolutely, and then you need the boots to be able to actually go into it as well. But we just had a big 20 up there, so at this point, it's not required for this. It doesn't mean that it's not required, but we are ways away from that yet. Both runners both did the same thing, and they also checked the bush crab and the tree pole, which just had a bunch of hearts.
And mushroom growing in the woods. That seems familiar.
I would almost say that's a bit vanilla. And we get some more cash down in the hole here. I forget exactly where this place is called, but I just call it the hole.
By getting a couple of rupees off the tree pole. They got a 300 rupee drop pretty early on, so they are pretty set for cash, at least for Kakariko. They're wanting to get up to around 500 just for Zora later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the having the money early definitely saves a little bit of time and will make things a lot easier, especially if they need to buy bombs, which shouldn't. Fylion might want to buy bombs later before he gets to the mini Moldorm cave.
Yeah, thankfully he can access them while he needs to in North Kakariko without buying them, so he can just route that in as he goes down instead of going down and then coming back up.
Ah, yes, that's a very good point. See, ooh, get our first sword early. The runners will like that.
And the flute, that opens up a lot of the world.
Absolutely, we've been we've been pretty in sync here, and now that should give us some divergence that we all love. And by the way, on Phylion's side, you saw him using the mirror there to make those blocks disappear. There's a bit of a glitch in the game where if you use the mirror in a house like that with blocks that move, it will actually just make them disappear.
Yeah, don't do that in a dungeon. That happened in my first race, and I forfeited immediately.
That's fair, because that is unfortunate. that would... Oh, blue mail, nice. That would be horrible. The bottle vendor just with a life lesson as well, only 20 rupees.
Finally got a bottle in the well, so that means we can check Sick Kid over here. Normally he just straight gives you the bug net in the vanilla game, but in this game to get his item you need to just show him a bottle. It's pretty easy to get one, but he'll just give it to you as long as you have one.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting the bottle early is very nice. For that reason.
You do need the bottle in vanilla, don't you?
I wasn't entirely sure. I haven't played the vanilla game too much, so I didn't want to comment one way or the other. They do make a good point with the cane and the mushroom. We could fake powder for Magic Bat. That'd be a bit out of sequence, but that is a possibility.
Yeah, normally the Mad Batter over here by the blacksmith's hut, you have to magic powder his little well to get him up here. However, there is a glitch in the game where if you have 0 magic, try to cast a block with the red cane, and then immediately switch to the mushroom, you will cast magic powder even if you don't have it. And yeah, looks like Sick Kid had hookshot. That's a pretty big item to get right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This seed's been pretty generous, and that opens up. Well, I guess it'll open up a whole lot more. But man, we have a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, we are sub 11 minutes in. Oh, and Simbai goes to talk to Cross Product.
It does appear that fylion is going to do the magic powder here, the fake powder, I mean.
Simba not really finding anything at the race game, but he does turn in the mushroom. And
Uh,
Fylion gets just an arrow upgrade.
Oh, you don't blame him. It is a little bit, it was worth a check there especially if you had something there. That would have been pretty big. And the Witch's Hut only had big 20. It's not a bad check there. It's really, really quick and easy. So you had the flute. Why not?
Yeah, I think we're going to see some divergence here. Simba going up to Death Mountain, doing the dark room here to pick up the old man. With the hookshot and the hammer, he pretty much has nearly full access to Death Mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just get Tower Hair out of the way and be good to go.
So it looks like we did have a map check. It looks like all 3 crystals in the or all 3 dungeons in the light world are crystals, with desert being one of the 5-6 crystals.
That is not a bad map there. You like having to see the crystals, those 3 light world as crystals. I mean, only thing to make it better is you had both red crystals there as well. So we definitely are seeing that route divergence you were talking about. Finally, I'm going the south route, which is a pretty standard play, and he gets the second Master Sword, so that's nice to have. Although having the Master Sword before you get Dark World access isn't always the greatest thing.
Yeah, they're pretty much looking for both Moon Pearl and gloves at this point. They need both of those to get Dark World access.
Absolutely. The good news is there's plenty of spots to check yet. So I mean, we're well before AGA 1 required, but you see the early Master Sword that is in the back of your mind.
I just saw somebody's Dark World sprite, and I started thinking, like, oh, did they get Moon Pearl?
I can understand. I had that little thought for a second, like, what? Oh, that's a cool bunny sprite.
Somebody hoping that there is a big key in this chest here. And there is, so he can get the crystal out of Hera. But there's still maybe an item down in that basement that requires a fire source.
Absolutely. You hope there is not, but it's always a possibility. It looked like the mini Modorm cave did not have much value in it. Finally, I'm going up to the Ice Rod cave here. And we get a whole lot of nothing.
And he is now going to flute up to Death Mountain. While we see what smbai gets out of these chests up here.
Just the compass for him. It looks like finally I got a little bit hecked up by some cabbages there.
Yeah, not sure why he didn't open that first chest first. If that was the other item, he didn't need to go to the big chest. That was the map, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, fylion taking a death here.
Ouch. Hey, Death Mountain isn't called Death Mountain for a reason. I mean, 4 hearts, Death Mountain is not easy. And for the record, they do have blue mail, but those cabbages do a heart of damage no matter what armor you have, I do believe. Smbai on his Moldorm fight here, using some hammer strats. Didn't quite get all the hammers, so he's got Angry Moldorm now.
It's getting a 16.5-minute crystal, though. That's pretty good.
Very good. Oh, gets the small key. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he knows there's an item there, and he cannot access that without a fire source.
We'll have to keep that in mind for later on. You are right. fylion looks like he's going to make his way back to the east side of Death Mountain, which he tried before and took that unfortunate death. smbai taking the top route over, so he'll check the island first, which just has some bombs. And now we'll do Spiral Cave.
Yeah, it's a little bit of preference on which way you choose to go here. If you go up through Nduhera first, you can access the stuff on Spectacle Rock a little bit more without having to climb back up. But if you go the way fylion's going over the broken bridge, you have access to the multiple chests over here.
Absolutely. We found a shovel in the Spiral Cave. And we appear to be just getting all the bottles out of the way early. I think that's 3 now.
So we got a couple other places to check here. They probably are getting a little bit nervous about Aghanim right now. They do not want to see a map right now. Or not a map, a lamp.
Oh yeah, I forgot we are missing the lamp. We got what we got right now. We got Dig Spot opened up since we just found since finally I will pick up this shovel here, and Agina's Cave, and that's
Awesome.
about it.
And they can check out the Eastern Palace area. But, I mean, Zora's not even in Logic at this point.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I forgot Sasha and Easter Palace. I'm used to seeing that early, and it's a little unusual not to see it, or little, not too much, but just a little unusual to see Death Mountain before it.
I mean, when you got an early flute and early hook shot, you might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The seed seems to be pointing you there, which, as we found out, hasn't had a whole lot, but we do have the dig spot here.
Now, you may even see them try to fake flipper to Hobo and even go up to Zora without the Moon Pearl. Just on the off chance they might be able to get gloves from one of them. Oh, and there's the gloves.
That is huge. Now we're just Moon Pearl away. So you did have to go to Death Mountain to get that shovel, to get that glove there. That was important. Finally, I'm going back up Death Mountain here. He's gonna probably do Terra now. And yes, Zora is now technically in Logic.
They're both sitting at a lot of rupees right now, so they can afford Zora. It's somebody now doing the South Shore area that he didn't get a chance to do. because he went straight to Death Mountain.
And he'll pick up his Master Sword here. So right now, the runners just kind of doing some retreading of the other's location. And both bunny sprites, by the way, are the normal Link.
Yeah, that's gonna mess with me until they get Moon Pearl.
Absolutely. And then we're actually seeing like, what happened to the? Oh yeah. So for both these runners, after they make their plays here, most likely we'll obviously, like we said, we'll probably see them go to the eastern area because that seems to be about the only spots left. We still looking for that Moon Pearl for dark access though.
Yeah, there's up to 6 items over there that they can access. 3 from the back of Sahasra's, and then up to 3 in Eastern. It may be only 2, but they can at least get 3. One of which may not be in Logic.
Absolutely, and the good thing about that with the one not being and potentially not being in Logic, that gives you a less opportunity to find the lamp. Smbai going to the dig spot, picking up his power gloves here, and we'll flew away.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am. If Aghanim is required, the only place Moon Pearl can be is on the pyramid, correct?
Yes, because he can't go anywhere else. I'm about 95% on that. By the way, I don't know if you saw, but Desert Ledge has the boots.
Oh, man. They need to either get those gold gloves or get a book. We'll see what Agina has down here.
Just some arrows. So now we're pretty much only got Eastern left before we do have which, the way this seed started, with having that early access to Death Mountain, you definitely wouldn't have thought Aga was the right would have played, but here we are. Yes, a very good fight by fylion there, taking down Moldorm with relative ease, getting his first crystal at about 23 minutes, which is still a really, really good time.
Yeah, I believe the race I commentated last night had a first crystal at maybe just over an hour in, if I'm remembering correctly.
Ouch. That is a long first crystal.
It was a heck of a seed. And looks like somebody's talking to Sauce there and getting info on where the green pendant is. Looks like Swamp Palace is going to be our green pendant.
Not a bad dungeon to see the green pendant in, or a pendant in. Green pendant, maybe not so much, but we have the bow in the back of Sasha's hut, and that means if he wants to, he can just complete Eastern. May be out of Logic, but he can definitely complete it now.
I think he would have to find the lamp in Eastern, or possibly Azora.
Yeah, by Logic standards, yes, but he still could complete if he did the Dark Rooms.
Yeah, somebody knows his Dark Rooms. Somebody was in the first race I ever actually watched.
That's interesting. And now here you are commentating for him. fylion with his bow, and I'm sure go over to the Eastern next.
And there's the Moon Pearl.
We got Moon Pearl. I bet both once fylion finds it too, both runners are probably very relieved to see that. That makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a big get. We knew that it had to either be Moon Pearl or Lamp in Eastern or Zora, and it ended up being Moon Pearl. Which means Lamp could be in a lot of different places now.
Oh, absolutely, and that could be fun, especially if that ends up being the only fire source of the seed. I mean, the likelihood of fire rod not being required is low, but it does happen.
See here, if Swamp is pendant, we know that flippers aren't necessarily required because they can fake flipper over to Ice Palace. They may still be in logic though.
Yes, absolutely. I'll be curious to see actually too. Speaking of flippers and fake flippering, they can now do that waterfall cave. It'll be they got the dark world access. Do they fake flipper first, or do they go to the dark world?
They got the mirror. I would probably, oh man, I'd probably wait a bit and see if you actually get the flippers, and then just route Catfish into all that. Catfish is really hard to route because it's so far out of the way in any other route. But doing all the Zora stuff at the same time kind of makes it a little better.
Absolutely, that's a very fair point. That would be probably what I would do as well, but I could definitely see the other way to getting it done now.
Fylion making his way through the Eastern Stalfos Dark Room. Somebody's going into the Igor Dark Room. This can be a pretty tricky dark room compared to a lot of the other ones, especially compared to how easy the other dark rooms in Eastern are.
Yeah, absolutely. But smbai makes it with relative ease.
Yeah, it's just very fortuitous for them to find the bow there at Sauce. Bow is one of the few items that's 100% required to beat the game each time. It is usually seems to be a very trolly item, at least in seeds that I've ran.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be in many spots, including GT itself.
Was the Armos Knight fight here from smbai. And that is how you kill Armos Knights very quickly.
That was a very nice fight. Wow. Didn't even get the red Armos.
Yeah, if you notice, he just kept walking towards them just to lessen the amount of time that his arrows were in the air.
Absolutely, because one thing I didn't realize till very recently was you can only shoot one arrow at a time.
Looks like somebody's going to head on down to Dark World and check out Hype Cave.
Oh yeah, I forgot we might as well check this as well. The hype cave of non-hype. He could be taking the southern route here, and where's he going?
Looks like Meyer and Pod are our other two pendants. And I think I saw Ice Palace as the other 5/6.
I believe you were right. It's an interesting Meyer. Yeah, those are some interesting pendants there.
So about checking out the mirror spot here. Seeing
Yeah.
just a little piece of heart.
Nothing too major here. Both runners going south, but fylion is checking Hype Cave, where smbai kind of surprisingly didn't coming down this way, but you can get it later. It's not too bad to check.
And it probably didn't cost him anything. We'll
Nope.
go back and check it out because it's 5 items right there, but he doesn't know it, but he doesn't need to.
No, yeah, unless you want the fire shield for some reason.
Somebody almost running out of time in the digging game. That looked to be close to the max digs. Somebody getting out with only about 2 seconds left.
Yeah, and only for a couple of bombs too. The triple boom. It's not too bad with Flute, but going the southern route without the Titan's gloves, I mean, you will have to go back and go the northern way, or do Flute. You can't just go straight to Outcast Village. You have to take a kind of roundabout way.
Yeah, now it looks like somebody remembered. Oh, hey, there's a hype cave.
It's not very hype though, so he will be very disappointed that he came back.
And we are 33 minutes in, and these racers might as well be neck and neck here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now they're just kind of tailing each other and going the same spots. The routing is basically the same. So I was expecting a little bit of divergence with how much we have open in Dark World, but here we are.
It looks like somebody's going to go over and check out Palace of Darkness.
I would say this is a bit of a calculated gamble here because it is only a pendant, and we don't have the lamp, obviously. Not that he's done, he's pretty good with Dark Rooms, as he said. So if you find something big here, could be a nifty advantage.
Yeah, when you know you're going against somebody who is as good as these two are, you kind of need to take those risks.
Yeah, absolutely. And fylion here going to Outcast Village here.
Just going to check Skull Woods first. There's only 2 items in Skull Woods, but time and time again, Skull Woods has proven to have something in it almost every time.
Yeah, more often than not, it seems to have something, and it's a pretty quick check overall. It's not too bad. You're not wasting too much time if it didn't have anything.
And there's one of the items, and it's just 5 rupees.
Getting a small key in one of those first 2 chests make it a little bit easier to navigate this area, so you like to see that.
Now, he cannot complete the dungeon unless he finds a fire rod. I think there's only one more chest for him to really check here.
Yeah, absolutely. If it does have the big key, you can go back and check the big chest, but mostly just the one chest is remaining, which will be a little bit easier because he has a can Samaria.
Something about getting the mirror shield and pod.
Well, get that out of the way early.
Yeah, finds the big key in the basement there. Gonna go back here through the backside area that you require the boat unless you use one of the newly approved glitches with the bottles.
I haven't seen too many people use the bottle glitch, but it is something that is there now.
I have seen it used twice, and they got bomb upgrades each time because of it.
Worth it.
Finally, I'm just going to go ahead and check out, see what's on Bumper Cave, and he'll probably route over into Graveyard Ledge as well.
This isn't bad because these can be a bit tricky later on the route in as well if you don't do it right now. So this isn't the worst. This is not a bad play. The only negative here is King's Tomb will be kind of by itself once they get the boots. I guess along with Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, I feel like this ledge here is one of the few places that's like, if you do not check it when you first think about it, you will never think about it for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. It is an easy spot to forget about.
And he probably should have forgot about it this race because it was only 20 rupees in there.
Ugh. Not worth, not worth.
But still making his way through pod. He's going into the back room here with a collapsing bridge.
Now, strat you'll see here in that collapsing bridge room is called the hammer jump, which honestly in standard mode isn't a horribly big deal, but if you play a mode like Key Sandy, it is very important because it saves a key.
And because it's a dark room, unless it is a key or a dungeon item, we won't be able to really see what they get. So you'll see them checking these menus here.
What did they get? I don't know. Getting the compass. So it looks like most of the items in Pod are going to be logically locked behind the lamp. Oh, did we get Bombo finally on side? I missed that.
And the flippers for smbai. Man, that tells me Ice Palace as soon as you get those mitts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also means that the flippers were logically behind the lamp, so that's interesting. Basically, what that means is we know the lamp won't be at like the waterfall or like Ice Palace or Swamp.
Zorl, oh, Magic Cape.
And he did do the hammering up there. That was the hammering up. I wasn't expecting it to be done, but I mean, if you're good enough, why not?
Getting red mail.
But yes, absolutely. This is finding the flips there is a big deal. Being as a pendant pod, you know, a lot of people will put the pendant off for a while, so that could be a very, very big advantage.
big advantage Fylion is going to be saving a lot of time fighting bosses and certain enemies because he has silver arrows now.
Oh, I love finding silvers early, especially when you have the bow already. Simbai, I would imagine here is probably going to be doing the routing we were talking about earlier with Catfish to the Zora area. Probably doing Pyramid Check as well.
Yeah, because I don't think you can actually get to the Zora ledge just in case there's something there. Yeah, it's a great play.
Yeah, absolutely. But no better time than now.
It looks like Ether, was that?
I believe so. We got, yep, Ether. So now we got 2 of the 3 medallions. Eventually, both runners will have them, obviously. We know where they are. So that gives us a 66.6% chance of having the right medallion for Turtle Rock. So naturally, it's going to be Quake.
Nah, Turtle Rock will be Ether, but Misery Mire will be Quake, and Quake will be on Laser Bridge. Misery Mire will have Ice Rod.
That's just mean. But finally, I was making his way through the rest of Thieves Town, getting hacked a little bit by these guys. This is not the this is an early dungeon in Randomizer, but it's kind of a later dungeon in the vanilla game, and the enemies can hit pretty hard.
Let's see what the Catfish has. And there's the lamp. It's an anglerfish.
Ooh, yes, it is. That is very interesting. That puts the flippers in logic too. So there they are.
Yeah, I'm glad we are back into logic already. Commentated on a match last night with Elminster where we were out of logic for quite a while, and it just got a little confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. It can definitely get confusing with when you go out of sequence. But I will say right now, looking at it, Fylion is going to get his 3rd crystal of the match, which is pretty good for 43 minutes in. But overall, I think Simbai's routing has given him a bit of an advantage at this point. It's still super early, though.
I think Zora's Ledge was just some bombs, if I saw that, or a boomerang.
Yep, we had Bloomerang, so nobody's going to get the Bloomerang. I take that back. Bloomerang or Redmerang, I don't mind getting them early, just for a stun, but after this point, you don't need them.
Finally, I was going to go ahead and check some of these overworld locations that he didn't check earlier. Not really going to find much.
No, unfortunately for him, and Simbai going to be going up to the Skull Woods area. As we know, we didn't find anything yet. We have one eye unlocked behind the fire rod here, and then I'm guessing he will go down to Outcast Village after. So while we got a second here, make sure, these runners here, they're playing. We've had some 2 great runners already. We're fairly early. They're doing some pretty awesome things. Make sure you guys give them a follow. And I want to thank our tracker, Itsudimo. Hope I didn't mispronounce that. She our tracker tonight. And thank you guys. And thank you everyone that behind the scenes for doing all the hard work. It takes a lot of work to get this stuff going. These guys, they work hard.
Itsudemo, I think that means whenever in Japanese. I'm not too sure, but she's doing a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, fylion is going to make the pod play, and as we know, as long as he does the dark room cave, which our dark maze room, wow, will be a good play. Progression could be swamp, but Ice Palace is also open. We cannot forget that, and I believe full clearable because we do have bombos.
They can't grab the boots yet. They do not have either mitts, nor do they have a book to get into Desert Palace.
Bombos was in Outcast Village, I believe. Sea Hut. There you go.
Ice Palace is not in Logic. No Titan mitts yet.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I forgot about the mitts. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So where do they go at this point?
Well, swamp is available.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody wants to do it when it's a pendant, but it is there.
I think that question every race can now be just changed to where do they go that's not swamp? They can technically do Spike Cave as well.
Yeah, they could. I don't know why you would, but I mean it's such a one-off. But yeah, I think swamp. It would almost have to be swamp at this point.
I did not count items while smbai was in here. Fylion may just go ahead and finish up pod while he's here.
Oh yeah, I didn't count him either. I know he didn't complete the dungeon, so I'm guessing he got all 5, maybe.
It is a pendant, but we still have a couple options on what may or may not be on that pedestal.
Yeah, absolutely. We got. See what we have. We have pod, we have swamp, and we have misery mire. Fire rod's always a possibility. Ice rod too.
Quake is possible depending on what's at Total Rock.
That's absolutely right.
Even book.
Book could be, but it wouldn't be required since we have to get in the mire with the mitts. So we could get in the desert that way.
Thinking more circuitous, maybe Ice Rod on a tablet.
Oh, that's fair. I wasn't thinking evil. My apologies.
Fed a long day.
Fair enough. That's why we do random after dark. We think the evil.
And Fyleon's doing a great job in this dark maze here. Somebody is on his way to go get the maid up at top, and Min, who actually turned out to be a evil red demon.
Absolutely. Weird looking demon, but a demon nonetheless. We should probably mention on blind. You're not used to the blind fight. It does not actually matter what sword you have. All swords do the same damage, from the fire sword all the way up to the gold butter sword. Obviously, the reach matters, but it takes 3 hits no matter what sword you use, and 3 hits per cycle, and there's 3 cycles. The other part of that, too, is a lot of people think it's a RNG fight, but actually you can get mostly scripted or script it if you're good enough.
No, just pop magic cape and swing for the fences.
That works as well. You could also use Cane the Burneth, but we don't have it right now, obviously. But if we get it, you could use that as well.
You see Demo bringing up a good point for us, bad point for our runners, but that Hera basement is now back in logic.
Oh yeah, that would be trolly. I don't like to use that word too often, but that would be a little hectic.
Oh no, 50 minutes in, hour in. Our runners might want to just like take a break and grab a drink of water.
Yeah, that's fair, you know. I mean, Swamp's the only thing left, so I mean that would make kind of a little bit of sense.
I think fylion is actually just going to go ahead and finish the dungeon here.
That's fair. I mean, you have he does not have the lamp. Never mind. So that's going to be a little bit tricky of some dark rooms there, especially when we get to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle room. But not too bad.
We're about to see smbai take on his blind fight.
Interestingly, I didn't see it the first time, but you know sometimes Blind will actually tell you what medallion may be required for Meyer, and right there, I think he said it could be either Bombos or Quake. Now, Meyer is a pendant, so we may never see it for that matter, but either.
Whoosh.
All right, so smbai is making the northern route play that fylion did as well. Again, it's not a bad play to get this out of the way now. Oh, it's not legitimate. Oh! It's not legitimate. I always thought it was. May explain some things, I'm not gonna lie. It's telling you how much I pay attention.
Like fylion strategy of just like hammer a bunch and then use bombos.
You can't blame them. That's a good strategy. The turtle room in the dark is not easy.
It's really annoying.
But we are on the Helm of Sword King fight here. If you were not aware, it takes 17 hammer hits to knock off his mask. He has silver arrows, so that's nice. That's just going to be 1 hit, and he's down.
There was a item behind Nematar. It looked like just arrow upgrade though. smbai now. I'm going to go ahead and check out Hobo, and wouldn't be shocked if he routes back up to Zora after this.
I would agree. Maniacal. Any dark turtles that doesn't end in death is definitely a good dark turtles.
Just a piece of heart for smbai. Probably gonna go back over, check out Zora area. He's got 4 items. No. Oh, smbai already checked out Zora area. Never mind.
I was just about to say, I was like, I actually think he already checked it out. I was thinking, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wait, why is he? Oh yeah. fylion hasn't went that route yet, which he probably will here. So it appears that smbai is going to make the basement Terra play. This could be a really, really good play here. We don't know what that item is down there, but we do know there is an item there.
Yeah, this could either be a really big time saver or a really big waste of time. It's not going to be anything in between.
No, and it shows how much people like to avoid swamp as well, especially pendant swamp.
That they would be willing to go up and do just Terra Basement, one of the most known rooms as I really don't want to do this, instead of Pendant Swamp.
And you know what? That's fair. He misses his coffee break though, so you'll have to be a little careful here. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I do believe those things will still do 1 heart of damage even with red mail.
Yeah, and it's almost like you get hit by 1 and your timing is just off from that point and you get hit by 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, absolutely. If they would have picked up the bloomerang, you could bloomerang those things and destroy them that way. See, you should have picked up bloomerang. Finally, I pick up his lamp, by the way.
Nah, it's just 20 rupees, not a not the play.
No, I don't. I understand the play though. It's in your mind as soon as you got that lamp. I understand the play, but unfortunately, did not have anything of use.
Yeah, I mean, these are just being in the tournament is kind of high pressure. Being restreamed makes that higher, and then being 1-1, you're basically, if you lose this, you're 1 game away from elimination. That just puts it even higher than that, and you just kind of get inside your own head, and you think, okay, well, I have to do this.
Ooh, smbai cutting that one a little close, but using the blue potion to get through the rest of Spike Cave. Only 10 bombs in Spike Cave, though. I want to just clarify one quick thing that you said there. 3 losses does eliminate you from being in the bracket, but you can still play the rest of the Swiss round.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. Being 1-1 at this point is definitely a nerve-wracking feeling. You definitely don't want to be 1-2. It would appear that fylion is also going to make the Hera basement play and probably Spike as well. I find it fascinating that these 2 runners, for the most part, have had fairly similar routing.
Somebody's going to go ahead and drain the dam here to fill up Swamp Palace.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure this is... I mean, we might be missing a location or something, but I'm pretty sure this is the only play at this point.
Yeah, they can't finish Skull Woods because they don't have a Fire Rod. They can't go into Ice Palace without mitts. Tar Rock, gotta have mitts to get there. Yeah. They need either mitts or book to get into Desert.
Yeah, and you know, ooh, magic powder. Let's see where this seed takes us from here.
Well, fylion did the one of them. One of them did
Yeah.
the mushroom glitch. So
Yep, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that. Magic Bat had nothing. It was fylion, so smbai had not done that. So we still know we know there's, barring something crazy, there's going to be progression here in Swamp. The question is, what kind of progression?
yeah, there's going to be 5 other items in here. Thing with Swamp is he's got that entire left side, which nobody wants to do, and also Big Key not necessarily to reach the boss. Big Key's only needed to open the big chest, so you may have to backtrack with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see what smbai decides to do here. If he decides to say screw it and get the left side done, or if he decides to go up and save it.
I mean, if you know that progression is in this dungeon, I would do the left side 100% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you almost have to. But what's kind of interesting though, the seed. You know, I'm not much in the way of the seeds kind of, the breadcrumbs and stuff. But you could make kind of a assumption here. We've went in the Pendant Pod, which had progression. We've now in Pendant Swamp, which is having progression. Is it telling us that we might be looking into a potential pedestal seed because of how much these pendants have mattered this seed?
You know, when we started out this race, you wouldn't think that if you don't have any pendants in the light world, dungeons that don't require as many items. And that's normally what tips me off at first. Is if there's a lot of pendants in the light world, there's a better chance of it being pedestal. 3 dungeons in the dark world, all of which have like pretty decent amounts of requirements. Yeah. I can. All right, yeah, somebody can make a big comeback. Oh, hey.
All right, I think we're back. All right.
Welcome back to commentary, everybody.
We back. We decided to, because we knew crazy stuff was about to happen, we wanted to give you the full emotion of it without us talking. That's really all that was.
Gotta let the moment sink in. Yeah, that was crazy. Smbai skipping the big chest, fylion skipping the left side. Fylion skip worked out for him. Smbi's did not.
Yeah, absolutely. And this race has gotten really close now, and it's finally out with a slight lead. But we need the ice rod for sure, and possibly Quake, as you mentioned in chat. So this is getting intense.
And there's only one non-Gainus Tower area that Ice Rod could possibly be, or could not possibly be, and that is on Trinex. Yeah, Ice Rod has a lot of locations it can be right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to come down to who makes really the right call on finding it, and this is getting crazy.
Fylion missing his first silver arrows, but getting 2 of them on his second one.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad of a Lamb Wolf fight with silvers. Oh, that would be interesting. Green Pendant Ice Rod. Fylion. Ooh. Smbai getting hecked a little bit by that red Igor there.
Fyon's gonna go check checkerboard cave.
So we got mitts now, so we know Ice Palace is available, but you're right here. Do you maybe think about checking Meyer with the way the seed has gone?
It's pretty quick to come back to Meyer, because it is a flute place. I would probably check Dark World Death Mountain, which looks like what Phylion's going to go ahead and do.
That's fair. Yeah, there's so many locations opened up with that Titans mitts now that it's definitely worth coming to this side, and also checking T-Rock pendant as well. Medallion, sorry.
Yeah, somebody's getting ready to grab his fire rod here. It's also, I mean, you might as well go up and finish Skull Woods as well. You might want to go ahead and do the blacksmith chain while you're up there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of options right now, and some people are asking if Fylion, if we get up that high, goes right into T-Rock. That's an interesting play too.
T-Rock does have 5 items, 6 if you want to count Mimic Cave.
That's assuming that we have the proper medallion, of course. Now, going into T-Rock would not necessarily be a bad play, assuming you don't find it in Hookshot Cave here. But it is a bit of a gamble if you don't find it.
Yeah, go moding Turtle Rock is not necessarily that much faster than going through Turtle Rock on its own. You just really don't want to have to do that twice.
But as you alluded to before, taking these types of gambles when you got two really good runners like this could be the big difference in the race.
And Turtle Rock is Quake.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I hate to say I called it earlier because I did, unfortunately, but dang.
And somebody getting a tempered sword over at Bonkrox.
Well, that would be useful.
I feel like Bonkrox is another one of those locations. If you don't go to it as soon as you have access to it, you can forget about it for a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it would appear that Phylion's going to make. Oh, I guess both of them at this point they're going to be tailing each other, going to finish up Skull Woods, as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, Phylon didn't really find much on Dark World Death Mountain. By saving a little bit of time, only going to have to do that climb once if he finds Ice Rod.
And Quake?
And Quake, yeah.
That's interesting that's Quake now, because now you have both the Ice Rod and Quake, which are like Ice Rod, Quake can be pretty much anywhere, but obviously in T-Rock this time, but that's nuts. We still have one more item to get here in Skullwood, which is locked behind the fire rod section. Doesn't necessarily mean it's here. We could get the big key and then get into the big key chest.
Somebody's going to have a little bit of an easier time in here with the tempered sword.
Yeah, absolutely. Having tempered for Malthula. Both have red mail, so it won't be too horrible, but...
Oh, every fight with Malthula is horrible.
That's true. If you don't know the Malthula fight, if he's on the spikes, he doesn't take damage, and it's really annoying.
It's tricky because the damage sound will play every time no matter what. You just got to watch for that flash.
Yeah, absolutely. This fight, is annoying. But they both runners almost at the same exact time, literally make it through with ease. I mean, literally at the same time.
Yeah, if you noticed how much that tempered sword helped, smbai went in probably about a good 10 seconds after fylion and made that entire time up.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, we are right in sync with each other. This race is exactly what you expected between these two runners. A really, really fun, really good race between two really solid runners.
Book can be on pedestal without knowing. That's a funny one to get.
Oh, that would be something interesting. Have book on pen and then having one of those two that we need on a tablet. That would just be mean. So if I'm not mistaken, the big chest does have the final item. I'm going to be very curious to see what's here.
See, both setting up bomb jumps and just getting 5 rupees for the trouble.
On Fylion side, by the way, I want to mention he used the bootstraps for the bomb jump, which actually gives you a few extra frames of leeway compared to just a normal bomb jump, which is pretty much pixel perfect. You get a number more of pixels that you can actually make that bomb jump.
Looks like Fyon's going to go check his Bonk Rocks, hit his Temper Sword.
Absolutely. And
so let me ask you this: somebody's taking the frog home. If you find Quake before you find Ice Rod, do you then go up to Turtle Rock, or do you try starting elsewhere first?
I think looking at it through the runner's perspective here, if you're smbai, I think you do it. If you're fylion, you might not because you already went there once.
Somebody doesn't know that Quake is the is necessary for Turtle Rock.
He doesn't, but he'll have all 3 at that point, so he knows he has it no matter what.
Let's see what the blacksmiths are making for us this time.
These runner smbai hoping it's icy.
They are making explosives.
Probably safe to swing those hammers like that in front of explosives, I'm sure.
And Fyon's going over into Ice Palace.
You know, it's not a bad play. You can beat it. It is a crystal dungeon. This is not the worst play in the world. You know, at the very least, you get the crystal.
Yeah, no, I think this is the right play. It's got 3 items as opposed to Misery Mire's 2. Yeah, it's just Ice is kind of an annoying dungeon to do, but these guys are good enough that they'll be able to do it fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I half expect this chest to have something in it. I mean, it's one of the 3 items, but it's just 20 rupees.
It did have something. You'll give you that. Sports. Yeah, you're right. This is actually a 5IM play for fylion because they would open up the Pyramid Fairy with this play. So this is not a bad idea.
Nah, somebody turns in this green pendant and just gets a heart piece out of it.
Ooh, that's interesting. If that would have held something, that would have been huge because fylion did not complete Argus, but unfortunately, just a little piece of love. And as of right now, that play did not beat Argus. Doesn't really matter unless it's a ped seed.
That double Stalfos Night Room always looks really impressive, and you just feel cool whenever you pull that trick off.
Oh yeah, it is such an awesome room, and To kind of explain that a little bit too, those Stalfos only get hurt when they're like collapsed. But there's a bug in the system where if there's two in the same room and one's down, the other one can still get hurt. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, smbai here going the Ice Palace route as well. He did skip the purple chest, but that won't be too bad of a check with Mirror and Flute. Best code of game ever, Carcat.
Let me point you in the direction of a game called Sonic 06.
We don't talk about that game here. Yeah, that game was awesome. What are you talking about?
And still only finding dungeon items here in Ice Palace so far, aside from that first chest. We'll see what this chest has here. And there's the big key. So
you can still hear me, right?
yes.
All right, I screwed something up on my end. So it's not a Discord thing, it was me. Sorry about that, guys.
So Ice Palace here, we've already passed it up, but that room with the fire bar and right after the conveyor belts, that has one of the first real tricks that you really want to learn for running this race in terms of skipping plate things. That Ice Palace bomb jump, really easy to learn. There's some great YouTube clips about it. Tells you exactly how to set it up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very, very important important trick to do. Probably one of the more important ones in the game.
It's a relatively easy one to set up too. If you're playing with the Link sprite, there's a lot of, you can just tell just by the top of his head.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy with Link. If you use other sprites, you kind of have to figure it out. But
oh, and there is Quake in Ice Palace big chest.
Well, that's interesting.
We'll probably do the Pyramid Fairy directly after this, and then make the Toro Rock play.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also the, if I'm not mistaken, the final crystal. What a race, though, guys. You guys are getting in for a treat here with Rando After Dark. Finally, I'm making really quick work of Cold Stare there. That was a beautiful fight.
Yeah, Cold Stare's a boss that can give a lot of people trouble. For a number of reasons. Like, it's relatively easy to just get to him and not be able to damage him because you don't have enough magic.
Yep, absolutely. Having Bombos makes getting that his ice cage, if you will, off with ease. But if you don't have Bombos and just have the fire rod, it takes 8 hits. All your magic if you don't have half magic. Smbai having red mail can take a couple of hits from Cold Stare, but you don't want to do too many. He's only got 2.5 heart.
Yeah, fylion is going to go ahead and grab the big bomb.
Yeah, this isn't a bad play at all. I mean, It's right here. You might as well get it done and over with. And then absolutely, if this doesn't have Ice Rod, it's going to be probably T-Rock time. I mean, to be honest, you know, think about locations. There ain't a lot left besides T-Rock unless you really want to gamble and do Misery Mire, but that is a huge gamble.
Where's that smbai going? He did not clear.
Oh, he didn't go back for the big chest.
Well, he got Quake.
What did he miss?
And there's Ice Rod in the Pyramid Fairy.
All right, so at 126.43, fylion is officially in go mode. All right, this is huge. Yeah, the smbai is going to be really upset with himself for going back after this chest, but fylion making his way to T-Rock now.
And he is just in the zone, making movements around the around little stone guys as quickly as he can. I can never remember their name. Dark Rocks, Rock Nuts,
Something like that. I think Bonk Rocks. Bonk. I just call them jerks.
Dead Rocks.
Yeah, that's right, Dead Rocks. I don't know why I call them Bonk Rocks. That's not right at all. Those are the rocks you bonk to get this places. I'm dumb. Yeah, for smbai, you know, you have to go back for this chest. Obviously, we know it's nothing, but you know, you have to because you know if it is the Ice Rod, then you're really screwed.
Yeah, and Fylion's going to hope to get in these first three chests. He's going to hope he gets 2 small keys and a big key. That'll give him just the fastest route to the Trinex box.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you need 3 total keys plus the 2 pokey keys to actually full go mode the dungeon itself. Yeah, fylion sprite with the males, the eyes change color on him, so it's there, but it's not as noticeable.
And smbai is going up without checking the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh. You know, you understand the play, but man, that's rough.
Yeah, he did not check Dark Death Mountain earlier, so it's much less of a gamble for him. But yeah, I mean, we know that it's the wrong play. It's not a bad play. It's just the wrong play.
Yeah, there's a big distinction between bad plays and wrong plays, and you know if you play the odds, but you know that's why they're called odds. You know, you might have a larger chance at something, but it still doesn't work out sometimes, and we know it won't here. What that does do, though, that does give fylion a pretty substantial lead at this point. And, you know, he's definitely leading by quite a bit. So, you know, but he doesn't know that. That's kind of one thing you have to keep in mind. These runners obviously don't see each other, so they don't know where the other runner is. They just know that both runners are good. So fylion might feel like he might even be a tad bit behind, or at least neck and neck.
Fylion making good work out of the chain chomp room. This is a scary room, no matter how much health you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Those chain chops can do a ton of damage.
Only place they appear in the game, unless you're playing Randomizer.
And that's why I don't play Randomizer.
Phylion's on his way back here.
It's always nice having the fire rod for those pokies there. This makes that so much easier, because they can be a pain if you don't have a fire rod.
Finally, I'm picking up a map from the big chest. Now he can tell his way around this dungeon.
Finding your way around the dungeon is always important. If I'm not mistaken, that's the last key he needs, so we won't be seeing Laser Bridge. Oh wait, no, never mind, I'm dumb. I forgot about the locked door that was right in front of my face.
And with the mirror shield, laser bridge will be pretty trivial for him. Gets that key off the first chest.
Yeah, as I said, when you get the key off first chest, that's good to go. And really, I mean, other than the butter sword, you have no real reason to check chest after that point anyway, so... Finally, I'm getting ready to take on old Trinex here. Solid menuing.
Yeah, making sure to get the fire rod out before that head blows up. Really key, because you cannot access your menu during those explosions.
And it's a long wait as you're waiting for that ice head, not the ice the floor up a little bit. Interesting little tidbit here on the Trinex fight at the end. You notice on other bosses, the item spawns right where you defeat the boss. Trinex is a little bit different. It spawns right in the middle of the room because of the fact that Trinex actually goes out of the room, and you don't want the item going out of the room.
Yeah, once again, this game's coded really well.
Exceptionally, really.
So, we are having a little game here where we like to try to see where this big key is in Ganis Tower. We got a number of chests, I guess. I believe it is 1 through 21?
22.
22. I'm going to go ahead and say it is in the bottom right of the rando room after the teleporters.
Would that be Bob's chest, I believe, then?
Nope, no, the 4 chest room with the bottom right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I'm gonna go Trolley. I'm gonna go Tyler room.
They've already done one tile room that they didn't have to do.
This is true. Why not make it 2? Torch was just a piece of love. These are chests 4 through 7 here.
I believe it took me around close to around 24 years to realize that those things only really should have fall out when you use your sword.
That's a short amount of time, really, though. Finally, I got a little heck there. Got knocked back in, had to redo that hookshot area.
And smbai is about to realize he does not need to be in Turtle Rock right now.
That is a... You can only imagine how he feels right now. You know, it's kind of that sickening, oh, man. I mean, obviously, he doesn't know where it's at yet, and I'm very curious to see where he checks next, but obviously, we want him to check Pyramid Fairy to get it, but...
If you look closely, you can see the exact moment his heart breaks in two.
It's very true. And he's making a play that I don't really like. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he realizes that he wants to check somewhere else. And it is in the... we got our chest with the big key, and fylion is on his way up against tower. He has enough small keys to cover.
Nice. I did not get the count. I apologize. What chest was in?
It was in the randomizer room.
Nice. The room you said.
It's like chat's got our back. It's just 10.
Thank you, chat. Thank you. You guys are all right. I don't care what Virtual Cat says about you. That kid, of course.
No, they're mostly okay.
So it would appear that smbai decided against the Misery Mire play and is going to Pyramid Fairy. This is one of those situations where you wonder if maybe they forgot it was open. I know that happens from time to time.
fylion making his way through Cannonball Run.
That's a good name for that.
I think that's a cross-product original.
Solid.
That guy likes his puns.
Who doesn't like puns? fylion, though, is making super quick work of this gauntlet room so far. And, you know, he's making it look easy so far, but this is not easy. Ooh, just missed that silver. Yeah, making that look incredibly easy. That was nice work.
So we're into Lambola 2. And much like his first fight with Lambolas, misses the silvers on the first run and gets nearly all of them on the second run.
You know, you wouldn't think so, but that fire shooter can make this second Lambola fight just more trickier than you would think.
No, smbai is on his way back up to Death Mountain. He got his ice rod.
That he did. So right now he's quite a ways behind, and you know it's going to be one of those situations of what could have been for him, I'm sure. But right now, fylion on the other hand, making super quick work with GT here as he gets closer to the Moldorm 2 fight, and getting a little unlucky there. But sometimes you boot through those guys, and they still manage to hit you.
Yeah, falling off a ledge can be real brutal in rooms like that with guards, because those guards can actually still deal damage to you as you're falling.
Absolutely, and he's falling again here. He's got to be careful here. He's only got 2 hearts. I don't know if he has a fairy. I didn't think he has one. He might have one fairy actually.
I believe he does. I think the King's Stream bottle had a fairy in it.
Ah, yes, that is right. All right, now, as I mentioned earlier, these runners don't know where each other are at, so fylion is probably starting to feel a little bit of pressure. knowing that we're getting close, and it's always a bit nerve-wracking as you're watching your race screen. Like, is my opponent going to say done before me? It definitely wears on you a little bit on the psyche. Smartly using the powder there to get those 2 fairies.
Yeah, makes quick work of Moldworm. And disrespects the last chest of the game.
Yeah, heck with that chest. Although it'd be funny if the butter sword was there. Not that they really need it, but
we saw silvers on it last night.
That's crazy.
Nah, Fylyon's on his way fighting Agatu.
Only getting a single there. That wasn't a bad setup, but it was a little bit difficult. Ooh, getting blue balled. A solid double. And Agatu goes down, and we are getting ready to face the blue pig, as they say. We are getting ready for Ganon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, smbai's on his way to try next. He's going through the crystal maze here. It's a much less interesting crystal maze than the old British game show.
Nice obscure reference.
And that's me. I'm the Ready Player One of commentators.
Fair enough.
A Fylyon on to phase 2 in Ganon. Getting ready to dodge some fire bats here.
Getting the second cycle of fire bats. That's a bit unfortunate, but this shouldn't be too much of an issue. All right, let's see if we're doing the time warp with Ganon this round.
Oh man, we just keep going with them. Lots of teleports there, but Fylion is on his way. Getting a silver in. Missing the torch glitch, but it's not much of a big deal with silvers. And there is the final silver for Fylion.
Yep,
Good
got a
game.
solid double in there. GG to Fylion on the victory. That was impressive. Fylion finishes with an official time of 1:45.12. GG. GG.
Yeah, that was a really good race. A lot of back and forth. There were times that we thought smbai was ahead. There were times we thought Fylion was ahead. And smbai was getting ready to come back. And yeah, great back and forth by both racers. We will see if Fylion can get in here for an interview.
Should be in here shortly. Yeah, that was an incredible race. That was awesome to watch. You gotta feel for smbai there. Not going the pyramid fairy to get that ice rod. You understand the play, but GG Fylion. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. That was a bit worrying.
Understandable. What did you? What was your thoughts on the seed?
I thought it was pretty good and pretty straightforward, and this was one of those ones where I felt like the items were telling us where to go, and once I started listening to that, I felt like things got a lot better for me.
Yeah, that was it was really close between the both of you for probably about 95% of the race. Near the end, you went to check Pyramid Fairy while smbai had not checked Dark World Death Mountain, and he went up there instead of checking Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, one of the things I've started doing is when I don't have all 3 medallions, I make the double dip on Death Mountain, and I just kind of accept the fact that I'm not going to get it in one go, but I'd much rather know whether or not I needed that medallion, because that was really frightening me. As soon as I saw Quake, it was like, oh gosh, I didn't leave that in Swamp, did I?
No, you didn't leave anything in Swamp. Somebody did skip the big chest in the Swamp when he went through.
Oh yeah, because that was the thing I checked, and I found my gloves, and then I was like, nope, I feel like I'm behind right now because I just did Spike Cave. I'm getting out of here, and I kind of accepted that if I left something behind, it was going to cost me the race.
Yeah, completely understandable. Another big aspect was Simbai decided he had to go through Ice Palace twice. He got Quake, but he left a chest and an item. He wasn't sure, so he ended up having to go through Ice Palace a second time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that late in the game when pressure's on, you just think, oh God, what if it was this one chest?
But yeah, that was a fun one. I really appreciated the front loading this time because it let us do so much stuff off the bat. I don't know if smbai did it, but that's the first time I've ever had the chance to do fake powder on my first trip to CAC, and that's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Simbai did not do that, but it was definitely fun to see. You don't, like you said, you don't see that very often that early.
It looks like the pedestal was just couch cash.
Yeah, we were worried about that. We were also worried about Aga 1. Was that in your mind before we end up finding the Moon Pearl, the Aga play? Because you were getting really close to that point.
Yes and no. The lack of lamp so early on kind of had me thinking it wasn't likely to happen. I just kind of cleared Eastern and didn't find the lamp, and then I said, well, I feel like the lack of lamp means there's no Aga in play. I guess I already knew it by the time I hit Eastern because that's where Merle was. But yeah, it just seemed kind of off the table. Early hammer will do that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, getting the hammer and escape right away is always a good time. fylion, at this point, with the victory, obviously you moved to 2-1. How do you feel going forward into the tournament?
I feel like I need to start executing a bit better again to keep moving up. I felt like I made, especially in GT when the nerves were hitting me, a lot of just execution errors, and I need to stop doing that. That's the biggest thing I need to do right now.
Yeah, one play that we saw that both of you actually made was when it came down to should we go check Swamp. Both of you went and did the Hera basement for that one item. Why go up there and not just go to Swamp?
So that's what I was kind of getting at when I said I was trying to follow the items. So I got Cape in Pod and I got Lamp from Catfish, and both of those told me, hey, I should follow these items. If I had thought it through more, I would have realized that Lamp gave me flippers, and so I should be following the flippers. But that was my thinking was, hey, I just found Lamp, it's got to be used for something, and I had this weird idea Fire Rod was going to be locked behind Lamp. It didn't turn out to be, but for most of the race, I had that feeling, and it was really bugging me.
I think technically it wasn't it? Because you had to have a lamp to get the flippers in the maze and to get in the swamp.
Yes. Sorry, I mean like it was behind a torch.
Ah, okay.
I had that weird feeling, and I would have been kicking myself all night if that happened. Um, yeah, I can't explain why, but I was worried about that.
I think that kind of thing happens to a lot of racers where they just get something in their head and they're like, okay, well, it has to be this.
Yeah, I mean the fact of the matter is, I think Spike Cave's better in V29 than it has been in several months, and combine that with I don't like to leave dungeon items behind, or yeah, items in dungeons from early on. I just kind of both those things made me go, I should go north first.
Yeah, it was definitely an understandable play. It's and then you just said leaving a dungeon item behind, especially a crystal dungeon item behind, can be devastating in the wrong if it ends up not working out and you leave it behind.
Yeah, we just used it as a reason to show how much people hate to go to Pendant Swamp.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of that too, and I think you can see by how quickly I was out of there that I didn't want to spend any more time in there than I had to.
Yeah, because you skipped both the left side and then immediately left, didn't finish it off. Smbai did a full clear of it.
Yeah, that was another intuition I had that was actually correct. For once, I kind of went in going, I feel like the big progression that's going to come out of Swamp is going to be gloves or mitts. And so if I can find mitts, then that's got to be what I needed there, and I should not waste any more time there. But again, I felt like I was behind at that point because I was running. Swamp was the last place I could go. So I knew if smbai had skipped anywhere, and I wasn't going straight out of Swamp, I was just falling behind.
Speaking of falling, Smbai just fell into the pyramid, and he is starting his Ganon fight.
Sweet, let's watch that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Simba had a really nice Aga 2 fight as well. I believe he had 2 doubles, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's fighting the big pig here and doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, getting out of phase 2 here, looks like. Oh, nope. He's got one more fire bat circle to go.
Yeah, just like fylion, I'm got a second circle of fire. Johnny Cash will be proud. Because Ring of Fire. Never mind. Bad jokes are bad. All right, we are moving on to the phase 3. We're going to get into phase 4. Luckily, Ganon wasn't too bad with the warps today. I think just a couple, and so we'll get right into phase 4 here. I believe he did get the torch glitch there. Almost a triple, gets the double, and finishes off Ganon. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. GG the Simbai, sorry.
That was a very quick Ganon fight.
Absolutely. And he finishes with a official time of 1:55.36. GG to Simbai. That was an amazing race from both our runners. That was fun to watch. Rando after dark, ladies and gentlemen. Always a good time.
Yeah, good games to both of our racers here. Simbai did really well. It was back and forth throughout the entire race.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't complain too much about that race. That was a fun race to end the night on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this back because I do think there was probably a lot of lead trading or apparent lead trading. So yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You guys were neck and neck and almost in sync for a large portion of this fight. Of this match, I'm sorry, not fight. You guys weren't fighting. I mean, I guess you were fighting Ganon. But
Yeah.
nonetheless,
At one point, you were both killing the same boss at the same time.
I believe that was Mothula. Literally got the crystals in your hands at the same point. That was cool. We are going to see if Simba wants to come in for an interview here. Give us a second. Yeah, right. To give us a minute here, but yeah, overall, well, we got a second here. Once again, I just want to say, make sure you give our runners fylion and smbai a follow. They put on a heck of a show today. They were amazing runners, neck and neck throughout the whole thing. Just one error at the end. I want to thank our restreamer. I apologize. Who42 Baker for the restream. It's a demo for the tracking. Thank you guys very much. And finally, want to make sure we thank everyone in the back end for doing their amazing work. Without them, these wouldn't even be possible. The thankless ones who don't get thanked nearly enough. So.
Yeah, I want to give a big thanks to Who42 Baker, who basically just stepped up to restream this when Speed Gaming was having issues tonight. So thanks so much for doing that. And hey, thanks to you guys for commentating.
It was our pleasure. It was a really great race to commentate on.
Yeah, absolutely. That was amazing.
If anybody's watching this and they want to get into randomizer runs, go to vt.alttp.run/randomizer. Find out lots of info there. There's also a great Discord channel, our Discord server. I have only been into this community for a couple months, and I can say that everybody here has been really welcoming. Lots of great people willing to give advice. Definitely check it out. It's a great thing.
All right. Well, yeah, Simbai won't be coming in for an interview, and it's definitely no problem with that. Completely understand that. Virtual Cat, you got any last words?
No, not from here. I'm gonna get some sleep. Looks like somebody's moving tomorrow. I am doing the same, so I'm going to go to bed as well. Thank you all for having us. You all have a great night, and keep watching these races. It's a lot of fun, and get involved with the community.
Absolutely. Have a great night, everyone. Until next time. Bye.